look, how come she looks so photogenic? And look at us.
That's because it's a stills photo.
But it's so much. You're so much better looking than. Look at how ugly Doug is, Ira.
Oh, but you know what? He's bald. That it does it for him.
I know that's like a. It's a. He says that his bald spot is a sex panel for a sex. I mean, a solar panel for a sex machine, right?
Does your wife know that he's
with my bald head? Because when my hair grows out, there's an island right in the middle of my head.
Doug, show us a picture of when you had hair. Like, do you like you must look like a parakeet? No, go get a picture for us.
Thank you, man.
I want to see what you look like. See?
All right. Well, you're welcome to the show. I'm really excited for this one. There's two things I want to talk to you about. Before we get into that, why don't you introduce yourself to the audience just real quick? What do you do? Who you serve? And yeah, I'll hand it up to you. Go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, I am really excited because I've been a fan of this show since the first day. Sorry, I had to say that. I wouldn't have another chance. So a little bit about me. I worked in a dream job. I was living, perfect hours, perfect everything, and then it stopped being perfect. And I gave 1 month's notification on February 12th, 2020. And the last day of work was March 12th, 2020. And the world stopped March 15th, 2020.
Yeah.
And then I went to my husband and I said, you know what, I'm not going to find a job now. Let me just open my own business. And I had $100 to invest. That was my budget. And I decided at first it was project management, but I really love automations and workflows, and it's what I had done in the previous job, and I just connected with it. And my mind just works in flowcharts, so it was natural for me to just go and do that, right? So I write workflows for people and automate where I can, and playing with toys like the software, which is like candy for me. So I just enjoy doing that and finding the right tool for the right workflow. And who I serve, well, everybody needs this kind of service, but the more I do it, the more I understand that niching down will help everyone. It's better for everyone if I do. So I'm not quite there yet, but I'm working on focusing more on consultants and coaches but always small businesses, always.
Yeah, I think it's amazing what you've done, Ira. In fact, I'm looking at my inbox now, and 5 minutes ago, I got an email from you to check out carts such as Thrivecart or Samcart. And I think, you've just got so much value that you're adding. And I signed up for your email, sequence. And look, we use a lot of that. We just don't use it well enough. And I know one of the things I'm going to do this year is have our team, reach out with you and see what we can do. Because we're all about workflow automation. Doug's workflow automation is getting coffee in the morning and remember to get dressed, put his pants on. That's his automation. Right?
Well, I have to tell you, it's very early in the morning where you are, so that makes sense.
No. He's in Chicago, so. But I really admire you, and I actually had no idea you've only been doing this. Like, this is your second full year, essentially. Yeah.
Well, this is my second full year. Yeah.
Okay.
And by the way, she's fully booked. Like, she told me I can't take on any more clients right now. I'd rather work on some of my evergreen products, and which is amazing if you think about it.
You're fully booked already, Ira.
I'm fully booked by choice, but it has to be said, I work 5-hour days. So I went into my own business thinking my family comes first. I got married very late. I waited till I had kids. Those were my priorities. So I try and work 5-hour days, and I try and leave time to work on the business, not just in the business. Okay. So when I feel that my capacity is full enough that I have time for my family and my work on the business, then I'll stop. And I had someone reach out to me and I said, well, let's talk about in March.
So do you think, let me ask you a question. Do you think you charge enough?
I know I don't. Okay, I know I'm too cheap. But I can't And I've had this discussion with you in the comment section on a post or so of yours, I think, Simon, that I know that I could possibly charge more, and I'm working towards changing the pricing model so that it's more project oriented rather than buying hourly packages. Although in my work, it's really hard to define the scope. Because I serve small businesses, and the people I love working with the most are people that are, 5, 10 employees, at least those not in the actual hands-on, at least those that, in the decision-making level. If I charge more, I'll lose my favorite kind of clients. My favorite client is a one-on-one coach, and she does amazing things. She's working on her evergreen product. She does webinars. She does coaching for single clients and group coaching. And I love working with her. If I charge more, and she invests a lot of money in me monthly, but if I charge more, I don't know that she'll be able to afford me. Not in the amount of hours that she does now. And that will stunt her growth. And I have enough. I'm making enough. I'm not looking to make 6 or 7 figures. I'm looking to help others so that they can make whatever they want to make.
Well, I mean,
You got a different mission, Simon.
Well, no, I think that's very noble. I think that, but I think a lot of people when they start, and we were guilty of this, so we're I think this is our 7th year of business. And, we compete with people that have been in the industry for 35 years, that tell me, oh, you're doing it wrong. You can't do it like that. Or we've always done it this way. And I like when those conversations happen. But all I'm saying is that, yes, I think it's very noble what you do and you help these small people. But until you try, or until you start working with the next level of client that's less price sensitive and actually less demanding of your time, I think you can't really make a true comparison.
You're probably right. There's no arguing. I mean, I know because I tell people that I work with, you have to charge more for what you're doing. And we usually tend to undervalue ourselves. I don't think I undervalue myself. I know that I'm charging not enough. I'm just so happy with where I am and so content with what I have on my plate. And that, I'm not looking to raise, at least not the hourly rate, but the pricing model is changing slowly. I'm looking to also change the packages. I just updated my packages a couple months ago, and the minute they went live, I turned to the copywriter would help me with them, with the website. And I said, okay, let's get moving. Let's start on the next one. Because I knew that it had to be updated the minute it went live. Like I'm constantly changing and constantly developing it more. And I agree with you. If I'm fully booked, then I should be charging more, working with fewer clients, and then I would have even more time to work on that.
So you can take on Doug as a client and you charge him whatever you want. Okay. Like I'll give you my permission, like practice on him. Okay?
I love, go ahead, Doug.
No, go ahead, finish the thought.
I love working with Doug. I think Doug is amazing. I think, I enjoy.
Don't tell him that. He's just getting a big head. I don't give him praise at all because otherwise his head won't fit in the screen. The only reason he's got headphones on is to hold his ego between his 2 ears. Like squash it in like that, see?
Simon's not my ego, my face fat. It's holding my face together.
I know, did you put on more, since you've got like Omicron 15 now?
My weight is just like,
jeez.
I'm getting old. By the way, quick pivot in the conversation. I consider her one of the most unique solopreneurs because I work with a lot of solopreneurs over the years. And keep in mind, she's been in this for 2 years. Already, she's got LinkedIn pretty locked in.
Yeah.
She had a blog. She had an email marketing. She had webinars. So she's doing all these things correct. And it's just fascinating because I work with other people who've been in business longer than she had and still have not made the investment to open those types of channels up. And I find that very fascinating. So what made you make the decision to go multi-channel and not only do multi-channel, but invest in talent to help you get this off the ground? And why are you different than 99% of the people who are similar to you who won't invest in stuff like that.
Oh, I'm blushing. First of all, I don't think I'm different. I think I listen to the advice of others. I've been following you, Doug, on LinkedIn since basically the day I got on LinkedIn. And it was really interesting because when I started around May, I said, okay, I'm working on my website. And I didn't have any clients then, right? So I started writing articles and doing research about different email service providers, which is something that I was interested in at the time. And I would write up my research in blog posts, in LinkedIn posts. And I wouldn't even write them to the blog. I was using the blog for something else. It was very minor. I didn't know what to write about in the blog. I had 2 blog posts up and I wasn't repurposing them or anything. And then I had written about 6 or 7 different email service providers, and somebody wrote a post saying, who can help me with MailChimp? Now, if you've been following me, you know I hate MailChimp. I hate it with a vengeance. But I'm looking at you, Simon.
We use MailChimp. Doug loves MailChimp. Doug hates MailChimp too.
You need to move to ActiveCampaign, but that's a different discussion for a different
We'll have that discussion later.
Yes, we will. But so the thing is, somebody wrote that and 6 different people tagged me on that post saying, oh, Irit Levi knows, she knows MailChimp. And I just said, okay, this person needed help with writing out her newsletter. I did it for her once and we moved on. It wasn't what I would do. And she got that very quickly, but she referred me to someone else. And then slowly my business came off. She was my first dollar. That was the first dollar I made. And I also realized, I think, the power of LinkedIn at that time. And then somebody wrote to me, in LinkedIn posts, they get lost. I mean, they're out there for a week, maybe 2. Somebody will look at them maybe 2 months back, but they were getting lost. And so I decided that I needed to write a blog post about them. And I was doing my own blog post at first. And then Justin Simon, I think is his last name. He was with TechSmith at the time. He started talking about repurposing data. And I think that's the secret. I've been listening to what people have been writing on LinkedIn.
Are you talking about Stephen Pope?
No, not Stephen Pope. This is someone that was at TechSmith. His name is Justin. I think his last name is Simon, but I'm not sure. He had a yellow behind his picture. Now he has orange. I think he's at Meta.io or something like that. Not Meta. I don't know. But he talks a lot about, he and Camille Trent talked a lot about repurposing content. And the penny sort of dropped that, it's not a one channel thing. And I had this website and there was a place for articles. And I was calling them articles because I really wanted to share my knowledge. And then this will also tie into your question before, if I'm charging enough. I'm making up the extra cash by recommending tools that people should buy and use. So I'm using affiliate marketing, not just as an affiliate of, I can recommend a million different apps. No, I only recommend the apps that I actually use and I actually love. And so I'm making up extra cash from there. And therefore I can keep my prices at a reasonable price because I'm still making more cash. And then once I had that, I saw Jacob Boyd was posting about his methodology of coaching. And I was like, but he gets stuck at the process. So I reached out to him and I said, okay, you get stuck at the process. I do process. Let's put together a webinar. And so every time, this is, I think, the secret. Why am I different, Doug? I don't think I'm different. I just think I listen and I implement what I read on LinkedIn. I'm not there just to sort of scroll on by and and I'm very selective what I comment on, what I like. I won't comment or post on, no offense, Simon, I won't comment on post on any post that has the foul language. I won't, I just don't. I didn't hear that. Doug knows this because I've commented to him before saying that was a great post, but you're not going to see any comment from me, right? So my values guide me, and I study really hard. I work hard to get where I am.
What do you think, Simon?
Oh, I think it's amazing. I mean, I think that I've followed. I know Irit has been very gracious in her praise to you. But I've followed her, I watch her with every time she's posting something, I think she's great. And I think what she's done has been amazing in the sense that she's actually just followed through with everything that, all the good advice that's out there. And I think that that's the trick, is to filter the good from the bad. And, I think, Irit, what you've done well is too, is you stand true to who you are. You say, okay, well, this is what I represent. This is what I do. And I think that that's, hugely valuable on LinkedIn. See, I would be the first to admit I have no idea what I'm doing on LinkedIn. I like hanging out with Doug, but I don't have a business purpose for it. And I will tell you, I think it was only about a month ago that we got our first job off LinkedIn, like a real, like a billable job. And I thought, okay, it worked. But that was never, that was never my intent. But let me ask you another question, Irit, because where are you living right now? Where are you based? You're based in Israel?
Yeah.
Okay. So you run your business from Israel 5 hours a day with all of the time, differentials. Like, what time is it there now?
It is now 5:45.
Okay. So it's 8:45 in the morning in Central or Mountain. When you look at all of the client interaction, the prospect interaction that you have on the platform, what are the two most important things a small business owner could do from a workflow automation? Like, if you said, look, only do these two things. I've got 5 minutes. I've got 2 minutes in an elevator with Irit, and I won't swear, or we can't swear. So I just got to listen to what she says. Give me the two most important things.
On LinkedIn. Two most important tips on LinkedIn?
No, on as a small business workflow automation, what are the two most important things that we need to worry about?
Wow. There's no one answer. It really depends on the business.
Okay.
You need to tell me about your business in order for me to tell you
that's a good consultant's answer. And see, that's billable. You should charge, that's the $1,000 right there. I'll pay $1,000.
But you see, this is me. I will give you the answer. If you ask me in a DM, there's a 95% chance that I will give you the answer just like that in a DM. I created, and Doug knows this, I helped someone launch a product in a week from scratch. They had no product. I gave them the idea of the product all the way through to launch. They did the work. I just did the guidance. I did not charge them a cent. They offered to pay, by the way. I just turned them down at the end. But, I did not charge them a cent. Yeah. Going, oh my gosh, what are you doing?
All right. So, okay, here's my dilemma as a small business owner. Okay. Here's my dilemma. We use Voxer. We use, and multi-channels. We have a two-way, we have a secure two-way radio network, obviously text. We use sometimes Slack, Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, Zoom. It does my head in. Like,
why so many different channels some of them are doing the same thing?
Well,
if you're using Microsoft Teams, you don't need Slack because you can do all of the interactions within.
I hate Slack. I hate Teams.
I hate Slack. I hate Teams as well. I don't use either of them.
Good.
WhatsApp, if I'm not mistaken, Slack has integration tools where you can use WhatsApp. You can put in.
Yeah, we use WhatsApp as well, right?
So WhatsApp. So up until Facebook bought WhatsApp, WhatsApp was terrible with integrations. But now that they've bought it, they have an API and it integrates basically with anything, depending on the ability of your programmer or developer. And so I find WhatsApp to be the easiest form because it's on the phone, and people, hopefully your drivers are not, but people are holding their phones in their hand constantly. If your drivers are holding their phone,
no, we don't let them. That's what they use. That there's a two-way radio system they have to use. That's a push to talk button, or they use a headset. They're not allowed to use. They can't touch any device in the car. Okay.
Right. I think that's a unique challenge, by the way, which is not not a unique challenge. For example, clients get me with Facebook messaging, WhatsApp, Voxer, text messaging, phone call, Slack, ClickUp, Asana. My communication is the reason why I have so many computers.
That's what's overwhelming.
ways people get in touch with me.
I can tell you that I work with a lot of companies. I have access to Asana as a guest or as an admin. I have access to ClickUp as a guest or as an admin. I have access to multiple email addresses for different clients because I need them for their interactions. And I can tell you, the first thing I say, one of the first things I ask people is, do you have WhatsApp? I did not have a smartphone until May 2020.
Who did?
And then I got my husband's hand-me-down.
You didn't have a smartphone?
No. I used a dumb
You have like
phone.
a flip phone.
A push button phone, a Nokia C2. I loved it. It was perfect.
Sorry.
There you go. Yep.
See?
So a Nokia C2, that was my favorite. I didn't have WhatsApp. I didn't have all this communication. I didn't need it. And if my bosses wanted me, they either wrote to me in our, in the email or in the project management tool, but that was it. If I try and push everyone that communicates with me to work with me on WhatsApp or on email. And honestly, I'm not on email all the time. So WhatsApp, if there's something urgent, that's the best way to reach me. I'm recording messages to Doug all the time.
See, what you forget is that half your audience are men and we don't multitask. So I've got like 1 million applications. I can't, my head explodes. WhatsApp.
But choose one. Why do you need to be excited? Why do you need to? You need one for your drivers, which is the one that, that they can't touch, because you don't want them touching anything and you want them to be accessible to them.
No.
So you want that method. But everyone else in the company should be choosing one more method of communication. How much time are you spending checking each one of the methods every single hour?
I don't know. I just ignore all of them until they really need me, and then they know how to do it. So.
But see, you're the top honcho, so you can afford to do that. Your employees can't.
Well, I think I might be some crazy ex-girlfriend trying to blow up my phone. So that's why I don't touch anything,
I find that safe. I have to tell you, I grew up as a diplomat's daughter, and we were always afraid of things going to blow up. Boom. Like when I was 14, my mom ordered a book to our house, and we were not allowed to order anything to our house. And somebody left it on the doorstep. And I called my dad at the embassy and I said, there's a package on the doorstep. What do I do? This is in Canada. I said, there's a package on the doorstep. What do I do? In Israel, you would call a bomb squad, but here I didn't know who to call. My dad was busy, so I talked to the security officer. They closed our street for 3 hours. They told people to go down to the basement. It ended up being a book. I am paranoid about things going boom.
See? You should meet some of my dates. Give me
I think we need to find you better dates, Simon.
Yeah, that's the story of my life. All right. But, Doug's helping me, The last girl he introduced me to looked like Shrek. It was unbelievable. Right there.
Go ahead, Simon. What were you going to say?
No, but I think that's a good response in terms of saying the answer that you gave. I think it's exactly what small business people want to hear. It's in terms of what problem are you trying to solve. I will tell you candidly that I am frustrated at the multi-channel, environment that we have. Now, I will tell you that when you work for government here in the US, Teams and Slack is the default standard. You can't use Zoom and you can't use Google Meet, okay? For some reason. Okay. So when we're working on government, when we work with government or like oil and gas or the secure type environments, and now it may have changed, but when the pandemic first started, it was all Teams and Slack because of the enterprise level security they have, on the back end. Now, I know Zoom had some issues at the start, with security, which I think they've probably locked up. So there's a couple of that. I've always thought WhatsApp was a little bit non-secure, but we use WhatsApp a lot because we have a lot of international guests and clients that don't have, if they arrive into the US, they can't use their cell phones, easily. It's much easier on WhatsApp. And in fact, when we do security work, the whole team is using a private WhatsApp group So the whole team is using that as a central, point of contact, which is I thought was quite interesting when I first started seeing this happen. So
it sounds like all of your online meetings, regardless of whether they're government or not, should be on Teams, because you're constrained to Teams anyway. So you don't want to be spreading it out over Zoom and Google Meets and whatever. If you're the host, you guys should be working with just Teams, whether you like it or not, just because one of your, I'm assuming, biggest clients, government is big. So if you want to accommodate them, that's going to be a definition, unless it's the only way to sort of minimize, where is this meeting going to be? Wait, is this on Teams? Is this on Zoom? I don't know. And you want to set up your meeting scheduler automatically, and you don't want to have a different link for government and a different link for everyone else. So just use one tool, and use the tool that your biggest client is defining for you.
Here's the other thing, my pet peeve. I'll wait till we ask Irit this. I want to see what she thinks of this. Okay. This is really, and I know I can't swear, but pretend I'm swearing in the background out of just frustration. If someone sends me one of those calendar lily
links, yes,
links, I literally want to shove my head in the microwave, right? Because everyone says on the, they reach out to you, say, Irit, thanks for connecting. We do XYZ. I'd love, what 15 minutes this week suits you? Please go on my calendar lily bleep and book a time. No, bleep you. No.
Bleep, bleep, bleep.
Bleep, bleep. Yeah. The bleep filter's going crazy, Irit. But oh my God. It just drives me
insane. But the problem isn't with the link. The problem is with the cold outreach. Meaning, if you wrote to me and you said, hi, Irit, I really want to meet with you to discuss my workflow. And I say, great, do you have a time that works for you? Or would you just like to schedule a time on my calendar and here's the link? That's a totally different feeling than if I reach out to you and say, Simon, I know I can help you with your small business. Here's my calendar. Slam, I throw it in your face and I say, set up a scheduling, right?
Bleep,
huge
bleep,
difference.
Bleep,
bleep, bleep, bleep. Yes, bleep, 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 bleep. So, the problem isn't with the scheduling link. The problem is with how we're using it. I would not walk up.
Doug sends me that calendar thing and I just ignore it.
Yeah, you do. He ignores it. And then I have to follow up. Okay, are you available at 8:30 Mountain Time,
Yes.
Simon?
Yes.
Said,
there used to be a tool. There used to be a tool called Meeting Bird. And what I love, Meeting Bird.
Okay, give it. I'll take that one. Give me that.
That they stopped using it. There used to be a tool like that. And what you could do is I would send you an email, Simon, and I would say, here are 3 options for meetings. Are you available in any of these? And then you just click one of the ones you're available on, and it would schedule it. So instead of giving you a whole full calendar, I would give you 2 or 3 options from within my calendar, and you could click it. They closed the door, front bought them, gave them 2 years, and stopped cold.
Bleep.
None of the apps that I've used, and I've researched them for 6 months, none of them have this amazing availability option. And that's what people like you need. You need me to define for you, for this meeting, basically, Doug and I defined it and you just had to wake up. But in general, you need people to say Monday, Thursday, or Friday at 2, 4, or 7, click one that you like, boom, you're done.
Good. Don't send me one of those calendar lily things.
No.
Terrible.
Good to know.
This wraps up our conversation. We've changed the format for the audience. We wanted to have shorter conversation, but with deeper impact. And I think we delivered that. So I highly encourage you, if you are watching that or listening to that, to go back, especially if you're a solopreneur, and listen to how she launched her business and what the little steps she took to get to where she is today. She defined, number 1, how many hours a week she's willing to work. And 2, she defined what type of client she wants to work with. And 3, she listened and created a filter system of what she was going to take action on and what she was not. And the key word here, she took action. A lot of people read, a lot of people listen, but don't take action. And that's the key word. I mean, I look up to Simon because a lot of what he does is he has an idea. He takes action. He'll find the people to make it happen. And if he doesn't think it's a good idea, he'll kill it. He doesn't sweat over it. He moves on quickly. And I think a lot of solopreneurs, entrepreneurs need to learn to take action and also need to learn when to not take action. I think for me, that was the biggest lesson of today. So thanks for joining that. It was really, really insightful. Right, Simon?
Yeah, excellent. And I think, you know, as a public service announcement for Irit, is that if people are watching this, her prices are going to go up dramatically as of next week. So you should buy whatever she has today. Because
Can I hire you as a coach?
Yeah, the pricing is just too cheap.
You need to charge Simon for that advice, okay? So please bill him on PayPal for $2,000. He'll pay it.
Go ahead. You know, like why should my life be any different to Doug's, right? So he just charges me whatever he thinks. So, well, I think, look, Irit, this is great. I'm looking forward to. I am going to have our guys. We're going to reach out with you. You're going to convince us to get off MailChimp.
Yes, that's the first thing I'm going to do.
I tried. By the way, I tried.
No.
And his web designer ran to Simon crying. This didn't work. And Simon took his side. So, you know, hey. I'm teasing. Connor, I'm teasing. You know, I've tried.
Do you know how much they sold for, MailChimp?
Yeah, but they're raising their prices now. And last time they raised their prices, they reduced their offer. This is like in 2000, it was like 7 years ago, because I was working with them. And they raised the prices, lowered their offer. And I was like, no way. Bleep, bleep, bleep. There was no way I was going to continue working with them.
Irit swore. Oh, yeah. She bleeped.
I bleeped. I bleeped. At the time, I did. I was
Call the rabbi. Call the rabbi. She's bleeping at us. Hey, do you think this is, you should be proud of us, Irit. We got through the whole 30 minutes without cussing.
I know. I told Jacob I was going to come on this show, and he was like, oh my gosh, but Simon, I said, he'll be fine. People just follow my lead. Nobody can.
See? Simon's actually a gentleman when you get to know him. So he knows when to not cuss.
That actually does come across on the post. And I think you want to put up this, you know, macho more than you really are. I think you're a softie.
Okay. All right. Well,
thank you for joining that. Have a good one.
Thank you so much. Thanks. Bye.
Namaste.
Bye.
Cheers.